India has lots of constraints on democracy, but no doubt India has greater democracy than China. Equally, gender disparity, equally bad in both the countries. We are complementary economies in many ways.
Yes, sir.
China has generated more capital to invest, and we are short of capital.
Yes,
So China is keen to invest in India. In my opinion, Chinese capital should be invested in India. It should be welcome to India. India-China trade, India-China economic cooperation is possible. As business, China will become world economy power number 1 by 2040. China should learn from India's political management of democracy and how the development debate is still going on. बहुत सुंदर चीन, बहुत सुंदर भारत और सुंदर चीन.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Azhar Ahmad Dar, Editor-in-Chief of Check Review, the magazine of the Department of Political Science. In this interview, we'll be comparing India and China in terms of their growth stories, what their future is going to be in international relations in the coming years. For this interview, we have with us Professor Manoranjan Mohanty sir, who is currently a distinguished professor at the Council for Social Development. Sir has also taught at the University of Delhi. Sir had also been founder and chairman of the Institute of Chinese Studies, New Delhi. Sir, welcome to this interview.
Thank you.
Sir, my first question to you is that there has been this perspective in the media that both India and China started almost at the same time. Then how did China manage to take leap ahead of India?
The so-called China leap has to be put in perspective. No doubt, the economic indicators of China are very impressive. But there are achievements that China have made, no doubt, in terms of poverty eradication. Most important, in terms of achieving their livelihood standards for everybody. Number 2. Number 3, the world prestige of China has grown tremendously. Number 4, infrastructure, roads and schools, hospitals, they have grown. So those are indicators, good indicators, and to that extent we are far behind China.
Yes.
But what are our goals? The goals are good living standards, abolition of poverty, and education, health, employment, and clean environment and egalitarian conditions for all.
Yes.
Those are goals for which both India and China are still struggling.
Yes.
Very important to know. Therefore, don't get too preoccupied with this business of, China has made a leap and India is far behind. No, India has also made strides, but India has a longer way to go to achieve even those levels. Yes. So make your perspective clear. For our cherished goals, both have to struggle much longer years.
Yes, sir. Sir, comparing the political landscape of India and China, we have China where there is little democracy, various institutions such as media, judiciary are not free. While as in India, various institutions such as media, judiciary and other institutions, they are comparatively free. How do you view this perception?
The perception has to be again put in perspective.
Yes.
Okay. Comparatively free, your key word is comparative.
Yes.
You see? And India has lots of constraints on democracy, but no doubt India has greater democracy than China.
Yes, sir.
China describes itself also as a, they call it people's democracy.
Yes, sir.
And with people's congresses which are elected and so on. The big difference is this. It is a one-party system,
Yes.
even though there are other parties, but they have a consultative role.
Yes.
We have a multi-party system, even though one party, it was Congress dominant for many years, now BJP dominant, but opposition is very powerful in some respects.
Yes.
And now even the ruling party has lost its absolute majority.
Yes.
So that is the big difference, that we have a multi-party system, China has a one-party system,
Yes.
number one. Number two, the freedom of press and independence of judiciary are two big differences.
Yes.
And the election systems are different. But as far as human rights are concerned, they say, for example, right to livelihood, right to food, right to education, these are very important human rights which they have accomplished much more than India has accomplished.
Yes.
But right to freedom of press, right to speech, those things are very, very much limited in China. Equally, gender disparity, equally bad in both the countries.
Yes.
You see, in India, I think we have a vibrant women's movement. China has a subdued women's movement. It has a women's movement, but it can't be as active, as vocal as in India.
Yes.
Though representation of women in grassroots politics and right up to the national legislature is higher than India's, but in the top leadership, participation of women is almost nil.
Yes.
You see, so we have to make these comparisons in perspective. That is my key word, my dear Chakravyuha.
Yes, sir. So China is continuously trying to influence India's neighborhood through various policies. But you, in an interview with the News Click, said, I quote, India and China should be partnering rather than competing in the region. How is it possible, sir?
Yeah, very possible, and it was demonstrated between 2005 to 2012. 2014 even to some extent.
Yes.
2016 even to some extent, first 2 years of Prime Minister Modi. It is possible, it has been demonstrated. And, that interview which I gave before Galwan
Yes, sir.
classes, I was referring to this because we are complementary economies in many ways.
Yes, sir.
China has generated more capital to invest, and we are short of capital.
Yes,
So China is keen to invest in India. You see?
Yes.
We have, and they have now, since my last interview, I will now add, they have now not only money, they have technological capacities, including they're number one in AI
Yes.
in the world today, you see. Therefore, and we are still very good in pharmacology as well as some textile sector and some chemical sectors also. Indian and IT, of course. India still has many positive things to share with China.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, in fact, I advocate, and we were, in fact, responsible for creation of a joint economic study group of India and China.
Yes, sir.
You see, during that period, 2005 and 16.
Yes.
And to see these complementarities. Why? I think you have this in mind, that now India-China trade is so imbalanced
Yes.
that deficit, that there is now a Chinese surplus of more than $100 billion, you see.
Yes.
$100 billion. Now, the point is, this is because during the COVID period, we restricted our exports,
Yes.
but we wanted to catch up for our world supplies, and we needed the Chinese raw materials and Chinese technology, and the Chinese help in, sending our finished mobile and some of the electronics that we assembled here and for the world market. We wanted that.
Yes.
Therefore, the exact deficit maybe so high. But one should not worry. One should not worry about this.
Yes.
One has to now think of how to build up Indian capacity.
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, Chinese capital should be invested in India. It should be welcome to India. We can make all kinds of provisions to restrict sectors and so on, but allow the Chinese capital to come. Just like German, Canadian, American, and so on. Why must they come from either Singapore or Mauritius or some other third country? Chinese capital should come directly to India, and it should help us in capacity building of our capital as well as our export capacity and producing for our market also. You see, therefore, India-China trade, India-China economic cooperation is possible as business partners and competitors. You see, America-China tensions are so high.
Yes, sir.
But do you know America-China trade is going fine?
Yes.
And American businessmen are the ones who want America-China relations to flourish.
Yes, sir.
So that is why we have to learn from Sino-US relations to see what are possibilities in India-China relations.
Yes. Sir,
I think we can go to your last question.
okay, sir. Sir, why do you see India compared to China in the next 30 to 40 years?
Look, already the projection is China will become world economy power number 1 by 2040. Earlier it was predicted to be 2050, but by 2040. Okay. And India will be number 2 by then. Okay. In other words, both are aiming at economic growth rates. My problem is, I am not impressed by either the Chinese slogan of developed, modern, socialist, prosperous, strong country that they want to be in 2049, their centenary of the revolution and People's Republic.
Yes.
And Vikasit Bharat that our government had put, that is Xi Jinping's goal, this is Narendra Modi's goal, Viksit Bharat
Yes,
by
sir.
2047. I'm not impressed by either.
Yes, sir.
I want a Han Piao Liang de Chungkuo
Yes, sir. Please,
and Sundar Bharat.
yes.
बहुत सुंदर चीन, बहुत सुंदर भारत. सुंदर भारत और सुंदर चीन. And my definition of beautiful China, beautiful India is that they have to eradicate poverty.
Yes.
They have to reduce inequality to such an extent that gender disparity, caste disparity, religious disparity, regional disparity should be such that people will be more free and equal.
Yes.
You see, free citizens. And environment should be so healthy
Yes, sir.
that we can breathe clean air, not Delhi, becoming, everybody is asking me, November, December, what are your plans to be out of Delhi?
Yes, sir.
And in Beijing, we have exactly the same conversations. December, January, what are your plans to get out of Beijing?
Yes.
I don't want that kind of Viksit Bharat or
Yes, sir.
Fachand Chungkuo, developed China. Sorry, I want my planet to be beautiful and equal,
Sustainable.
friendly, just,
Yes.
so that India, China can be partners in recreating our world into a beautiful planet, Mother Earth.
Yes. Sir, my last question to you is that what can India learn from China and China from India?
Both have to learn, firstly, as classmates, as good classmates who learn from each other and help each other to become A-grade classmates.
Yes.
Both. Okay? So India should learn from China
Yes.
how China has sometimes relied on small-scale industries, grassroots democracy, and local production
Yes.
for local market and national market, not for global market. Global market came later.
Yes, sir.
And when they went for the global market, local production for global market, that created the crisis.
Yes.
And great inequalities, regional inequalities. And my book is called China's Success Story and Success Trap. This is the success trap. Great economic growth with so many problems, environmental problems, social problems, alienation, inequalities. Okay? That's what India should learn from Chinese success and Chinese failures
Yes.
in economic development.
Yes.
China should learn from India's political management of democracy and how the development debate is still going on. Our National Alliance of People's Movements, Medha Patkar,
Yes.
the questions that we raise in the NAPM, you see, and something which Gandhi raised, Jayaprakash Narayan raised, Keshan Patnaik raised, so many people raised during the last 50 years, 100 years, okay, in India. Even though Nehru's successor, particularly Indira Gandhi to Manmohan Singh to Narendra Modi, they are taking India on the Viksit Bharat path. We want India to be Vikasit but Sundar. You see,
Yes.
China should learn from India's democracy and development debates. India should learn from China's successful strategy and its failures,
Yes.
and how it is readjusting its policies. They have much to learn from each other.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time. It was amazing hearing your thoughts on comparing India and China. One thing I like about China is that they've been focusing on the creation of various basic facilities like healthcare, education, providing training to
Absolutely.
various people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time, sir.
Thank you.